This is a CBS 12 breaking news report.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you are just joining us, a very scary and frightening scene taking place in Parkland, Florida this afternoon. An active shooter, a student at Marjorie Stoneham Douglas High School, going on a rampage with a mass casualty situation.
You're seeing this unfold here live as several vehicles make their way into the school here.
Not feeling so good right now. I'm scared to death. I know she's okay because she's texted me.
I was in a closet with my English teacher.
You are seeing people being reunited right here as they walk out of the school.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow. Oh, I'm going to start crying.
He heard the footsteps of the killer and that he was in the same building and on the same floor as the killer.
Where were you inside of the school?
I was in the freshman building, first floor, and he went up and down the hallway, just banging and shooting into the classrooms. He shot through my door and broke the window.
I think the football coach jumped in front of somebody and got killed, and the guy's a nice guy.
CBS 12 News starts now with breaking news.
Hello, everyone. I'm CBS 12's Liz Kidantis. We have breaking news to tell you about a shooting at a high school in Broward County. These are live pictures from the helicopter. We understand this is happening at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, which is now obviously on lockdown. This is in Parkland in Broward County. We are still waiting on details from the Broward County Sheriff's Office, but we are told that there are possibly multiple victims. Again, the school is on lockdown, and police did send out an alert saying not to go near the school.
We're live with CBS here. I was just wondering, you have a child at the school here. What's running through your mind right now?
I'm scared to death. I know she's okay because she's texted me. But we keep hearing all different things. We don't know what's going on. I don't know when she's getting out. I don't know, this is a community where you know everybody. And we're just hearing reports from really bad. That's just really scary right now. I don't even know what to say. I don't know.
Are you able to communicate with her?
Yeah,
or?
She's texted me.
What is she telling you is going on inside?
She said she's okay. They're locked in a room. They're barricaded the doors. They're trying to stay together. She says some people are panicking, some people are staying together, and she's just, keeps telling me I love you, I'm okay, and I'll see you in a little bit.
This is a situation that unfortunately unfolds all too often, but for this to happen in your community?
I don't even have any words. I don't even know what to say.
Okay. Thank you very much. We wish you the best.
All right, Michael, if you can still hear me, can you please tell that mom and tell the parents that we have aerial shots and we are watching this unfold? Please let them know that there is a huge police presence and these police officers are methodically going through the building with their guns and securing it and dismissing these students group by group so they can safely leave the building. They're clearly securing the area first, possibly going outside. We did see several police officers with their guns storm into the building. So it's possible that they're going classroom by classroom, giving the teachers and the students the all clear and say, okay, now you can go. Look at the kids, how they're being told to put their arms on each other's shoulders and go single file.
Yeah, I think you're right, Liz. I think one would have to assume that at some point there are certain areas of the school that have either been checked or are secure at a certain point. And like you said, they're going classroom by classroom, getting all these students out. This is a huge police presence here in Parkland this afternoon at Marjorie Stoneham High School, where this shooting is taking place. As far as we know, there is no one in custody at this time. We don't know if there's more than one shooter at this time. We have gotten reports from our affiliate, WSVN in Miami, that there are 20 people that are possibly injured. And again, we don't know if those are students, teachers, or any other personnel that might be at that school.
Those parents have been told to relocate now to a local hotel. So that's why you don't see as many parents now in this area. They are trying to be reunited with their children who are still, we understand, being evacuated from the school and possibly transported to a local elementary school. Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow. Oh, I'm going to start crying. That's a student who just got released from the school into the arms of possibly his dad, and he is, wow, he's really upset.
It's terrifying.
Nicole, you're a survivor of this tragedy today. Talk me through how you survived.
Well, when we were first told that everything was happening, we were all scared. The fire alarm went off, and we went out thinking it was just a fire alarm. Then we heard shots, and a few of my friends didn't believe me, but I told them I had seen someone go down.
Then we heard a few more shots. Then we went inside the classrooms. Then we were getting text messages, are you okay, what's going on? And our teacher got a text message, I guess, from another teacher saying this wasn't a drill, this was for real. Make sure everybody's inside the classrooms, that the doors are locked.
Were you guys hiding behind desks, or were you guys crowded up in a corner in a closet? Talk me through it.
Well, we were put in the corner as far away from the door as possible and out of the window's view.
These are live pictures high above the scene where we understand one suspect is in custody right there. We are not sure of the agency that is apprehending the suspect and putting him into a police cruiser. It looks like it's Coral Springs. We're not sure, though. This is a very active scene happening after an active shooter situation at Marjorie Stoneham Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida this afternoon.
Well, John, if you notice, the person they have in custody, it looks like they're wearing a maroon shirt, and that's exactly what the description was that we got, that it was a male and with a black hat, a maroon shirt, and black pants. We understand this is happening about a mile away from the school. So somehow that alleged shooter made his way a mile from the school, and police were able to track him down. And if you saw from our live pictures, they're putting him into the police car now, you saw from the live pictures there was a huge response from various agencies.
Okay, this is an ambulance that looks like it's en route to one of the hospitals, possibly still transporting victims at this hour. As you can see, police officers using one cruiser in front as a blocker, if you will, to stop traffic to make sure that ambulance has a clear path at this hour. There is one person in custody, and we are told he is a former student.
I wonder if is that the suspect that's being transported?
It very well could be.
Yeah, that might be the suspect that we saw get into the ambulance being transported to the hospital with unknown injuries. We were watching live as he was taken into custody, and then there was a long delay. You know, they didn't take him in the car and take off right away in that neighborhood. Right. There was a long delay, and now we know why. He has sustained some kind of injury. You know, to John and I, he looked just fine. He was standing and possibly limping. Didn't look like a bite from a canine officer or from a gunshot wound from a gun.
Correct.
But there was some kind of injury that was enough to send him to the hospital. This, again, is where our Michael Butchner is standing by, and obviously a mother very, very grateful, hugging her child. So grateful that that child is okay. Parents were told to go to Heron Bay Marriott to pick up their kids, and a lot of parents are picking up their kids there, but somehow some of these students are making their way to the parents here, and there's that high schooler who's obviously very upset and crying and happy to be in his mom's arms.
Yeah.
Your son is in the 9th grade?
Yeah, my son's Stoneman Douglas, and my daughter's next door to the school at West Glades.
All right. How did you find out that your son was in trouble? There was something going on?
Yeah, my boss told me that there was a shooting, and then I went to the TV and saw that 20 were injured, it said, and I started frantically trying to reach him, and then I couldn't get a hold of him for a while. Then he texted me. I knew he's okay, but he said he heard the footsteps of the killer and that he was in the same building and on the same floor as the killer.
He said he heard the footsteps of the killer.
Yeah, he said that the killer was like walking with heavy feet that he heard.
And what was that like for him? Did he tell you how he was feeling at that point, if he could hear that?
Yeah, he said the whole class was lucky to be alive. They were thankful they're alive. My daughter, she heard that basically he pulled the fire alarm to get kids out into the hallway and then started the shooting.
All I saw was everyone running, and right when they were running, there was people saying school shooting, but it never said code red. It never said a code red. It was scary. I was praying to God, hoping every day was safe.
Did you hide, or where did you go to seek shelter?
I was hiding like in a secret room. I don't really know. Like it was a room full of like 50 people. There was a lot of people in it. We were all just staying quiet. We didn't want to make noise. I heard banging on the doors. I was so nervous.
And your cousin, you were telling me that you heard some shots?
Yeah, when we were coming back, because after the fire drill started, some security and staff at our school told us to come back inside because it was a code red. And it was right after that we heard gunshots just firing everywhere. And like police officers were coming out, telling us to go back inside. People were falling off the stairs and stuff, and it was just really scary.
It's really sad what happened to people. It's not supposed to happen like that, anything, you know. We have to move on, you know. It's really sad, that's what I have to say. I'm lucky to be here, talking to you right now.
We're lucky to talk with you as well. Joe, Mary, Thank you so much. Have a good night together with your family. All right, so there you have it. Just John and Liz. Again, just another story of what happened in this school today.
We're looking at live pictures now, aerials, and you see, this is live, parents being reunited with their students. So again, the students are still being released. We heard from that one father with Paul Mueller live on the scene that he was barricaded from his kids because they had the road blocked. As you can see, a lot of the roads are blocked. The entire school is blocked off. So he has a son and a daughter who are on one side and he's on another side and barricaded. So it's possible those kids will be transported to the Marriott where parents are being told to pick up their kids.
Maxine Bensel joins us live tonight at Broward North, where we understand that location, that hospital, is on lockdown at this hour. Maxine?
Yeah, John, I'm being told at least the emergency room is on lockdown right now. Nobody goes in and out unless they are family members. If you can take a look, you can see a very heavy police presence here. Lots of the Broward County Sheriff's deputy at this front door of the hospital here and on the side, where in just the last 10 minutes, we've seen more than one ambulance come in. I've been speaking with a family member of a patient unrelated to the shooting out here in the parking lot. That patient has been calling her from inside, and she says, and I'm hearing from other people out here, that the shooter may have been brought here in just the past 20 minutes. We're told he was brought here with a police escort, and once brought inside, they actually barricaded the area where he was brought. We noticed when we were driving in here, actually, that police have many of the streets blocked off so that the ambulances and emergency vehicles can get in here as quickly as possible at Broward Health North. Now, police say that at least 14 victims were transported to the hospital, some of them here, and others to Broward Health Medical. This hospital here, only about 12 miles from the school where the shooting happened.
We understand now the death toll has risen to 16 people now. 16 people dead, 14 others taken to the hospital. We also now understand, these are reports that are coming in now from, it looks like, CNN, that the weapon that was used by the shooter, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, was an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle. You may recall that weapon was also used in other mass shootings in Newtown, Connecticut, Aurora, Colorado, and San Bernardino, California. All right, let's head back over to CBS 12's Linda Figueredo in the Breaking News Center, and she has more details for us right now. Linda?
And as you were saying, we're seeing those first reports of the 16 people now confirmed dead in regards to this shooting, and the AR-15 semi-automatic rifle that was used in this shooting. We're also hearing that a handgun was involved. We have not learned yet the type of handgun at this hour. Now, here's some images of the suspected school shooter, Nicholas Cruz, being walked in to the BSO headquarters. This is after he was released from the hospital. We also saw some images of the CSI removing evidence from the hospital in evidence bags and transporting that with them. We're also seeing some tweets coming out. This is Anthony Rizzo. He is a first baseman for the World Series champion Chicago Cubs. He's saying, Parkland and Coral Springs, please stay strong. This is out of control, and our country is in desperate need for change. I hope in this darkest of times back home, this brings everyone together and we can find love, and you are all in our prayers. The city of Weston also reminding folks that the city parks are open this evening, but all school events have been canceled at this hour. We're also receiving statements from State Attorney Pam Bondi, just sending out a statement just moments ago saying, praying for everyone involved in today's shooting. I am on the way with victim advocates, and we will be available in full force to help all victims and their families with any services needed.
And now we do have that video, that brand new video from Snapchat. Let's take a listen.
Oh my God!
That is terrifying. That's video and audio, apparently, inside one of the classrooms in this high school as the shooting happened. And that wasn't one or two shots, that was a lot of shots.
Yeah, that was a lot of shots. And you could hear the screaming and the sheer terror in the background as those students were trying to huddle down and just hang on as long as they could.
That is terrifying.
I just had the opportunity to speak with a young woman who I believe was told me in 11th grade she heard these gunshots. One thing she said that was quite interesting is that first the fire alarm went off, and then moments later she said they started to hear the gunshots. I believe the sound is queued up and ready to go. Let's take a listen to what she just told me a few minutes ago. Where were you inside of the school?
I was in the freshman building, first floor, and he went up and down the hallway, just banging and shooting into the classrooms. He shot through my door and broke the window. Yeah.
How are you?
I was just quiet, and I just tried to stay quiet and just waited for it to be over. It was so scary.
Yeah, she called me on her cell phone, you know, just whispering, and you hear this on the news all the time. You never think it's going to happen, and it happened. Okay. It happened.
Well, we're glad
anyway.
We're glad you're okay.
Yeah.
Are your classmates okay?
I know that 3 people, I think about 3 in my classroom got hurt. I just saw blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were kids lying on the floor as she was leaving the school.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 11th grade.
Was it a normal day today?
We had a fire drill, but pretty much that's it.
Supposedly the shooter tripped the fire alarm
to get kids out.
To get kids out in the open.
Wow.
That's what we're hearing.
So you were leaving the classroom when this happened?
No, we were in the classroom. We heard banging, so we huddled up, and then we heard the fire alarm go off as we were huddled, and no one left because just trying to get people out.
Yeah. As a mother,
you just thank God your child is okay. We have another one. She's right now on the corner by the high school, and we can't access her. But as long as she's okay and we're talking to her, we feel a lot better. So yeah, it's an awful day for Parkland, Coral Springs. It's something you don't expect. It's hitting everywhere. This is about gun control and kids and psychologists and just helping these kids. I don't know what's going on, or supposedly it was a student.
So you heard the firsthand account from that young woman that we had an opportunity to speak with. The parents and some of the students are gathered out here. One thing I want to point out that I've noticed, and photojournalist Chris Mills pointed out as well, within the last 20 minutes or so, we've seen what appears to be SWAT teams dressed in full tactical gear heading down this road towards the school, along with a large and heavy police presence.
Take us back to when you were in your class and what you heard and what you saw.
I just heard a few gunshots, and then I didn't really see anything. I just heard the gunshots, and that was about it, really.
You said you were in theater class, and about 40 of you crammed into a room waiting for the time that it was safe for you guys to leave. At what point did you know that it was safe to get out of the school, and how did you get out?
Well, the police or SWAT team just came and got us, and they just escorted us to the grass area, and they just told us to run there with our hands up. And
Stacy, mom over here, you're shaking your head. Tell me.
I haven't had a chance to really hear all this yet because I was in lockdown in a separate school, and so I had trouble getting to her. The roads were blocked off. I couldn't get. I parked my car. I tried to walk. They wouldn't let me walk the way I was walking. So then I finally walked home a couple miles. I get to the house, and the police have put her here. So I haven't seen the news, really. I don't know a lot of the details. It's getting worse and worse as I hear it. So I'm kind of in shock.
Hard to process what your daughter went through today.
Absolutely. I don't even completely know what she went through yet. So,
and do you mind pulling out your phone and reading that text message that she sent you that just broke your heart?
We were texting back and forth, so I knew she was okay. I knew she was hiding in the drama room. I knew she heard gunshots. And then she started to text me some more, and then she said, if I don't make it, I love you, and I appreciated everything you did for me.
When you read that,
I started to panic.
Did you ever think that something like this could happen in Parkland, where your daughter goes to school?
No. I had 2 children graduate from there already, and we live across the street from the school and purposely live here so that she could continue to go to that school.
John, I see you're getting very teary-eyed here.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, I've been fine until I just read that. I mean, this is really the first opportunity we've had to see our daughter and actually find out what happened, because they scooped her up. The FBI grabbed her, brought her over here. They interviewed her. So when we walked out, this is the first I'm hearing of a lot of this, and that's a powerful text. I mean, to see that text is powerful. I mean, these school shootings have to stop. This is crazy. I mean, what my son's football coach thought. I think the football coach jumped in front of somebody and got killed. And the guy's a nice guy, and it's horrible. I mean, I think there's 7 or 8 people now, or more than that. I wouldn't even know, because we haven't been home.
Last I heard was 17 people killed.
It's like Columbine across the street from my house. I mean, literally, I live in a nice neighborhood. I'm a family doctor. I deal with death every day. I'm a family physician. But, I mean, I work at the hospital where all the victims were coming, the trauma center at Broward North. That's where I work. And I had to leave there and come get my daughter. And I could hear the ambulances coming in, the helicopters coming in, and I was tempted to go over there. But I said, what if I go over there and my daughter's one of the victims coming in? I wouldn't be able to handle it. I would lose my mind. I would literally pass out.
He was just telling me that he was in the auditorium and just doing what he was told by the cops, and that's really it.
You know, you have a lot of parents rushing to meet their students here.
Yeah.
Here you have a son running to meet their father.
Yeah, of course. It's family, you know. Got to see if he's okay, make sure he's all right.
Mm-hmm. And did you say you went to high school here as well?
Yeah, I went here my sophomore year, 2 years ago.
What does this mean, this tragedy, to this community?
Keep your kids safe. Guns need to be, taken away from everyone, especially this kid that my girlfriend went to school with in middle school was a nutcase, and he posts videos of him with knives and guns. I just think kids should be kept an eye on more than they are. This can happen at any time.
We have a large presence here of this is Broward County Sheriff's Office. As we've been telling you, these are canine units that are presumably coming in to sweep the school. This is what we have been seeing all afternoon.
I just learned from a parent that students are being questioned here at the Marriott Hotel, which explains why we haven't seen a lot of families exiting this building over here to the right. I think that's the corporate facility where they have parties and business events going on when they're not dealing with something like this. But this is where the children are now being questioned. The woman who I spoke to, she says her stepdaughter is in a room with a law enforcement officer, and they are asking her questions. They have separated the kids into 2 sections, one being the witnesses and the other are non-witnesses.
Law enforcement and emergency responders going towards the crime scene, lights and sirens, so still a huge law enforcement presence out here. And just want to queue up some video if we have it available, tell you about how difficult it was to get down here and what we were seeing as we were en route. So we were on the Sawgrass Expressway, and we saw law enforcement personnel from miles and miles away. We saw armored personnel cars, we saw the cruisers, we saw SUVs. There were some vehicles that you first think that they're civilian cars, and then you find out it's undercover unmarked vehicles because they start veering into the fast lane and they have the lights and sirens going. So you could just feel on the highway as we were heading south to come to this location that this was going to be a very, very heavy and a very serious situation unfolding. And then as we got closer towards the school, we were on foot. We were walking up Homburg Road, and we could see armed officers, armed to the teeth.
He had countless magazines, multiple magazines, and at this point we believe he had one AR-15 rifle. I don't know if he had a second weapon right now.
Can you speak to the fire alarm that was pulled?
I know nothing about it.
Did he say anything when he was apprehended and he was taken to Broward Health North? What are his injuries and how did he get them?
Yeah, I think he's left Broward General North. I don't think his injuries were anything significant. I believe he's en route or has arrived at the public safety building. The investigation will continue. I will keep Broward County informed. Anything that we uncover, anything that's important to impart to the media, we will. I know it's going to be a long night for all of us, but on behalf of my family and BSO family, just continue, please, to pray for these victims and these families.
CBS12's Matt Lincoln continues our live team coverage now in the studio with what we know about this heroic story.
Well,
Matt?
John and Liz, we are following this story closely, waiting for confirmation from officials, but this is what we know right now. Eyewitnesses say Coach Aaron Feist risked his life to save the lives of students. He is an alumni of Douglas, graduated in 1999, and then returned to the school in 2002 to be an assistant coach. A number of firsthand accounts say that Feist jumped in front of other students to shield them from bullets. According to an Instagram user and others, Coach Feist is in critical condition. We are working to confirm this independently and checking in on Coach Feist's well-being, but so far, this seems to be a very heroic story of a school staffer stepping in to protect his students.
Doctors here at Broward Health Medical Center in Fort Lauderdale just gave us an update. They say that 7 victims were transported here to the Fort Lauderdale Hospital, 5 in stable condition and 2 in critical condition. Now, they also say that many of them with gunshot wounds. Now, things are a little calm right now. They say that they don't expect any more victims from today's tragedy to come here to the hospital. They're also not releasing names. They also are not releasing whether they were students, teachers, administrators out of respect for the family members. There are also checking in with the sheriffs. The Broward Sheriff's Office, because they haven't actually heard from family members of some of those victims.
She's actually a senior at the school, and this is really just difficult for her to deal with. How does it feel knowing that we hear about a lot of shootings? This is the 18th one this year, and now it's you're in this. How does that feel like?
It feels almost surreal, and I just feel like this is not real. Like every time I think about it, I'm like, oh no, it's just a simulation. No, it's actually hitting me hard now.
So why did you feel like it was a simulation? Was that planned?
They said there's gonna be like a test run of the code red, you know, the school shooting sometime soon. They didn't tell us like a given date, but they said, oh, we'd have it soon. So I just thought maybe it was that until I started seeing the news popping up and everything.
Okay, so take us back through it. You're in the middle of fourth period. Fourth period is almost ending, and then what happened?
And then the fire alarm went off, and since we're so programmed to like almost get up and go and walk out as soon as you hear the fire alarm go off, we didn't think much of it, we had one earlier and we didn't even think. So we walked out, then halfway through the walking out, we were in the parking lot of the bus loop. And then people were screaming, get back inside. People were like running, and I didn't think much of it. But then when they said, get back inside, you know, more forcefully, that's when I started taking to, you know, action and running back inside with my friend.
So once you got inside and it hit you, what was happening? What did that feel like?
It didn't hit me until actually when the news started popping up. So that's like as soon as it hit me, I started texting people saying, I love you, this and that. Like, and people were like taking it as, you know, oh, I love you too. They didn't hear the news, obviously. But I was like, you know, I love you guys. And, you know, it started hitting me really bad and thinking.
Who did you contact first?
I believe I texted in the group chat that I have with my dad, my mother, my brothers, everybody.
So what were you guys saying?
I was just like, you guys, there's something seriously happening at my school. I love you guys. And it was just simple and easy, just in case that, you know, I couldn't get the whole message out, so I just made it quick and easy.
So where were you in relation to where the shooting actually took place on campus?
I was in the bus loop, which is towards the side of I believe the left side of the school, or the left side facing it, right side, you know, being there. And the school shooting started to go from the middle of the campus to the left side.
Straight now to a news conference at one of the Broward hospitals. Let's listen in.
Broward Health North.
Okay, can you talk to us about what you guys have been seeing
Sure.
today?
So, good evening. First and foremost, we want to extend our condolences and sympathy for all those people, family members involved in the tragedy today. Through a Broward Health system, we received 17 patients. At Broward Health North, we received 8 patients and 1 suspect. The suspect was treated and released in police custody. Of our 8 patients, we had 2 mortalities, 3 in critical condition, and 3 are stable.
What condition was the suspect in?
I cannot disclose that.
Can you repeat again? I'm sorry, I think the first sentence you said 17 patients at Broward Health North, but I don't believe that's correct.
No. System-wide in Broward Health, there was a total of 17 patients.
system-wide?
9 here, 7 Broward General, and 1 at Coral Springs.
Can you talk about what type of injuries you're seeing? How serious are these?
Of the 8 patients that we had, not including the suspect, 2 mortalities, 3 in critical condition, 3 stable.
But what are you seeing? What kind of wounds?
Out of respect for the family members, out of respect for our patients, we're not going to disclose that information.
Are these all gunshot victims?
Yes, they are. They're all gunshot victims.
Okay, so sometimes we see people that are trampled on their way out or sustain other sorts of injuries, so that's why we wanted to clarify that. So all the 8 victims here, those were all gunshot wounds, correct? Some sort of gunshot wound.
That is correct.
Can you elaborate on the ages of the patients that were brought here?
Again, we can't talk about the age or any information related to the patients out of respect to the families.
Can you talk about, were you guys, I know you guys were in lockdown, was this can you describe for us, is this a mass casualty incident? What was it like inside as these patients were coming here after the shooting?
Sure. So we work very closely with our pre-hospital personnel, fire rescue, on scene, in conjunction with Broward Sheriff Office. Pre-hospital communicates information to us. We routinely run drills at our institution to be ready for instances like this. So we have a process in place that gets initiated, so there's calm, collected care that our patients receive.
Certainly an exhaustive day for everyone involved here. This unfolding this afternoon around, I think you first got reports of this around 2:30?
Before 2:30, we were on the air.
Okay, before 2:30, we got reports on the air of a possible active shooter situation unfolding at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Here is what has happened to sum up, folks. A 19-year-old former student by the name of Nicholas Cruz shot 2 people with an AR-15 rifle outside the school, another person on the street also, as we were told, and then entered the school. And according to Marco Rubio, this is a very calculated maneuver by this shooter, pulled the fire alarm so students would obviously open doors and, more importantly, exit classrooms to fill the hallway and exit the school, because that's what they are instructed to do, at which time he opened fire. Total people, he killed 17 people total. 17 others were taken to the hospital. 2 of those 17 have since succumbed to their injuries and have passed away and died. And this is now the 8th deadliest shooting in modern U.S. history, and it happened right here in our own backyard.
You know, so many questions tonight as police are investigating. How did the shooter get a gun? What is his motive? How did he get on campus if there's supposed to be a single point of entry? At this point, we do not have any new information. So we are going to return you to regular programming, to CBS prime time. As new information becomes available, we will push it to your phone. We will break into programming. We will live stream it on the website, CBS12.com. We have you covered. For now, I'm Liz Quidantes with John DeCepolo. We will again see you for CBS 12 News at 11.